Hello, champions, and welcome back to What's My Role, episode 23. I'm your Tank Bean, joined by GT Goat.
Hi.
Donnix.
Hey.
And Golden.
Howdy.
And today we're just having a vibe check and reflection type of week. So I didn't really do much prep for this week, and there's not a ton going on in the news. So I figured we would just kind of have, like I said in the chat earlier, just kind of like a vibe check type episode where we just kind of talk about what it's been like starting the channel, doing the podcast, doing Mythic Plus, what we think of Dragonflight as it's wrapping up, that type of stuff.
The joke's on you. I didn't read the chat.
Well, that's basically what I said.
So you were not prepared either way.
No, absolutely. I was not prepared. I was not prepared, and you're like double not prepared. I did have some like fun ideas for stuff we could do. Like, I was thinking we could do like, not this episode, but another episode. Maybe once we get Vindo Viper back, we could do like one of those tier list type deals. Maybe with like classes or races or something. Something kind of goofy to.
Yeah.
I still want a snail race. I really want to do that. I want to get time.
Snail race.
Yeah, have all of us on at the same time. We all chip in, what, $5, $2?
You just want to gamble.
Yeah, there's not really any like difference in the speeds of the snail mounts.
Okay, listen, I live in Alabama. We don't have a gambling anything.
We could do like a dragon flying races though.
No, I'm good.
What's up?
He was saying he wants to do snail races, but I was saying all the snails are kind of the same speed.
Yeah.
I'll teach you how to gamble in a while.
Yeah. I mean, we could
death rolls.
come up with.
Yeah, I'll see that.
Yeah, we should do that actually.
We should find like a... No, never mind, because then you could target. I was going to say it'd be cool if you could do like a dartboard.
No.
Yeah.
Have Bean have a dartboard pulled up and have like I don't know, you could do each section like in post-production for each role. So when it goes to the next person and what class they play or specialization, it's each section's a certain DPS.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that or set that. You know what I mean? But it's just something.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some type of fun way to do it beyond just like a random number generator.
Yeah.
I know that like.
You can always do that. Try the class thing. It was at level 60s. 50s.
Yeah, what now?
Where you try the class out.
Oh, the class trials?
Yeah.
Oh, like the trials? Yeah, I think we were more talking about just like randomization, throwing a wrench into our plans, basically.
We got enough wrenches.
But so we've been doing this since November, since basically the start of season 3. So what does everybody think so far? How are you liking what we're doing? Is there anything anybody's not happy with? Anything anyone wants to change? Anything that just any kind of thoughts anybody has on the experience so far, I guess.
I mean, it's been fun so far. I'm actually having a good time with it. It's getting back to
Has it been lately?
Well, besides the latest stuff, yes. I've already complained about it, so I ain't gonna do it again.
Yeah, we did have a complaint episode last week. I mean, I do understand your frustration, though.
Honestly, it's not us, really. It's just how, like Donnix was saying, how punishing it is towards little mistakes. But other than that, and like in general, yeah. I mean, there's some nights where there's nobody on, but I mean, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all just doing this for shits and giggles. Some nights everybody's on, some nights nobody's on.
Yeah. And Donnix was talking about the other day having just like maybe a couple times a month, or even just maybe if there's a night like that where we obviously don't have a healer or a tank, or we can't get something done, that maybe we could just goof off on something like. So we're not just spending all of our gaming times all in WoW. Maybe we could just like, let's play fucking Fall Guys, or some kind of goofy little
party game, something that doesn't take
like
a whole lot
Jackbox.
of like, yeah,
Just a shits and giggle game.
Yep,
it's good to me.
Yeah, and I think that'd be healthy for us. I know I specifically do kind of get very one-track mind, kind of almost obsessive about things. So it's probably, even though I don't feel tired of WoW whatsoever, I'm really enjoying what we're doing. There's even like more stuff that I kind of want to do with it, but I think it'd be healthy, really.
Well, I think for me, like one of the things that kind of helps me with the Burnout is what we're doing with this channel, like doing the podcast, doing the videos, streaming, stuff like that. It kind of gives not just more of a purpose to it, but it's fun because we're all just hanging out. Like it's a scheduled time for us basically all to hang out.
Guys night.
Guys night.
Yeah, it is really nice having like, hey, Tuesday night I'm going to talk with my friends. We're not even going to play the game. We're just going to talk. Like,
Yeah.
that is kind of nice to just have that. Really.
Until you turn off the record button, all the good stuff happens.
And things get unhinged real quick. What about you, Golden? You've been quiet so far.
I'm trying to be. I feel like I have a tendency. I'm doing some self-reflection.
No.
I think I have a tendency to just, you know what I mean, constantly.
I
talk.
feel the same exact way.
I think I get. I think it's because I get so enthusiastic and I get excited about talking about WoW, and so I was like, you know what, some self-reflection here. Let me maybe just sit back,
Let everybody else breathe.
and let everybody else kind of
That's
talk.
my
right?
job. Okay, that's you stepping on my boundaries now.
You have too much time that you're just kind of sitting there quietly.
I like to
Looking at
listen to the
fishing gear.
conversation for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at lures.
No, I got Pokemon Go going right now.
See, multitasking.
Got to catch them all.
I mean, I'm really happy with the game. I'm not burnout. I'm really happy with how we've progressed. I know it's really easy, I think, to get frustrated sometimes because you just want to be at the top level, right?
Yeah.
Immediately, you want that feeling of achievement. But honestly, it's felt really good to progress and to go from running Mythic 0 in Season 3 already. Season 3 was over halfway done, I think, or just about halfway through when we jumped in, to go from pushing the lower keys to now they had the change, and now we're pushing what our equivalents. We did a plus 4,
14.
right? So that's like
Yeah.
a 14, right? So that's way higher than what we started in last season. So I think we're progressing reasonably. I think we are reasonably progressing. I'm happy with how we've been progressing, and really enjoying it. Early on, I had a hard time. I can get very driven and get blinders on, and so I didn't like the idea of doing anything than the class I started with. But now I'm really enjoying learning the other roles. I'm really enjoying playing healer. I really like playing monk, and I think as long as I'm playing, I can have fun playing DPS too. If anybody ever wants to jump into healer and learn it, but I really like playing the support type roles,
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was nervous about before I started tanking, but I understand that.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with what we've managed to do. I mean, life happens, right? And sometimes we just can't get everybody on, and that's all right. I do think it's a great idea. And again, I'm not burnt out on WoW, but I do think it's a good idea, like with Donnix and you were saying about maybe playing something else. I just signed up to do the beta testing, or I think it's pre-alpha technically, for the new Skate game for EA. People are calling it Skate 4, but it's actually just titled Skate.
Yeah, I think I saw a trailer for that recently.
Yeah, I grew up playing that, right? Playing the Skate game, so hopefully I'll get an invite for that, and I'll jump on that sometimes. But I'm really enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the game more now than I ever have before in the past. And I think, like what Donnix was saying, is I think a lot of that also has to do with doing stuff like this, where we're not even necessarily in the game, where we're just kind of hanging out and we're kind of going through things and talking about the state of the game and how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
I was waiting to see if anybody else would say anything.
Well, and kind of going back to when we were struggling early on, it felt like it was more of a grind than playing. It was like, we got to get to this point. And now that we're starting to see progression and succeeding in that progression, it makes you more motivated to keep going. It's kind of motivates your fun in the game. It kind of shows that what you're trying to work towards is achievable. So you kind of keep working and keep working and keep working, but it doesn't feel like work. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's, I think it definitely has to do with the people that we're playing with, for sure. Because I've been playing this for a long time, and there's bouts where I got burnt out just because I wasn't really enjoying playing with the people I was playing with, but they're the only people I had to play with. it makes it more easier to grind through those tough times when you're actually looking forward to hanging out with the people that you're playing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Man.
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a social thing, really, is what I feel like makes this feel so satisfying and gratifying, really. Because, I mean, like I said before, when I was doing the Zelda stuff, that's completely by myself, spending hours and hours, and it's a lot of fun putting together the stuff that I was doing. But doing this, even though I feel like I'm putting out less kind of like complicated material, but I'm still streaming and we're doing the podcast, and there are other kind of videos that I'm working on, but it just feels better doing it with a group of friends like this, and in just the social aspect of MMOs and stuff. It's really nice having we're basically a team working towards a goal, and it is challenging, but we're seeing progress, and we're almost at a point where we're kind of about to achieve our first goal. I feel like we can do it in the next few weeks here, as long as we have just a couple nights where we can push like 4 or 5 dungeons. That's like all we really need, I feel like.
Yeah. And if we get the right keys.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Good God, man. That's such a yeah.
Yeah, that was really
Oh.
frustrating.
Before we jump in there, I do agree with Donnix though. Like, I think because it takes time, right? Like, once you realize you have to have realistic expectations that it takes time to learn your class, using your utility, learning the dungeons, right? And then you achieve it. I think that is what makes it feel so good. It would not be anywhere near as gratifying if it was just like, oh yeah, we're there. Like, it was so easy. All we had to do, I think that is definitely what makes it worth it. Is you put in that work, you realize, okay, cool, this will take time, but that's okay, and it feels really good, right? So like when we cleared the first 14, right, or 4 that we did this season, that felt awesome, right? I mean,
yeah.
So
yeah, even with a few wipes in there, we still cleared it, and it was great success.
Especially with at the beginning of the season when we started jumping into these mythics and just getting stomped. It's like, oh man, I don't know if we can do this.
that was brutal.
Well, I mean, the gear score takes a long time. What's that?
I'll say we communicate very well too as a mixed group of so many individuals.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely getting better at our communication.
Yeah.
Well, we have y'all
It's
three
getting
who
there.
are seasoned vets who are usually, hey, back up, hey, stand over here, don't do that. That's nice because then it leads us more into progressionally moving and developing.
Yeah. I think it would actually be great if we all cycle through being tanks and healers.
I think that's
because
a good idea.
not only is it kind of forcing you to like step out of your comfort zone and understand more aspects of the game, but there's like a level of confidence that comes with as you start tanking. You're definitely kind of like, oh, I don't know, let me take like 1 or 2 mobs at a time, and then you reach a point where you're like, I know I'm gonna survive. Let's do this fucking pull and let's see if the DPS and the healers can handle it. And it's like a freeing. It's scary being in like that leadership kind of position, but it is kind of freeing to be like, okay, I'm deciding this is what we're doing. Everyone else has to live with it. Not to say I want to be like a tyrant or anything,
Right.
But
But it's also teaches you that you can make mistakes too, right? Like you need to try those big pulls, and even like sometimes like, and that's my own fear in it too, right? Like you'll do a big pull, and I'm like, even though I've been in that spot and I've been a demon hunter, I'm like, screw it, pull the whole room.
yeah, right.
I'm like, oh no, like, oh crap. And that's only because in my head, I'm like, oh God, I hope I can keep everybody alive. But when you do those big pulls like that, and we do survive it, I feel really good about it. You feel really good about it. DPS, I'm sure that feels great too, to know that you guys are, you have it on lock and you're popping your defenses, utility, everybody's surviving, doing what they need to do. That feels really good. And even if you pull too big, like how do you know what's too much? Well, you sometimes have to do too much to know it.
Well, yeah,
to know
I
where
mean,
the
you got to
limits are.
experiment with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's part of it too, is not learning that it's okay, even though nobody wants to fail, but it's okay to fail because we have to know where we're at, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like a wipe isn't the end of the world, and
No.
the only way we're going to get better is by learning how to deal with these kind of pools, really.
And on the DPS side, it's like with the amount of DPS that our group can put out, especially on AoE pulls, we know we can kill stuff quick, but we don't know if we can stay out of the stuff and stay alive to kill everything real quick.
Especially the same color floors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big challenges on those big pulls, like in Uldaman, where you get those big pulls, all of a sudden you have a ton of stuff on the ground that you're trying to dance around while we're trying to destroy this large group as quick as possible. But I think we're getting better at it for sure. I think the movement's getting a lot better on both melee and ranged. Looking at the logs, we're taking a lot less damage than we used to. The damage is more spread out the way it should be with the tank, and everybody else kind of equally low. So I think we're right there. It's just, we got to push those boundaries of what we can and can't do to figure out optimal, performance or the optimal amount of stuff that we can take. So sometimes you have to do those big pulls just to see what we can do.
Right. I mean, beyond even what we can do, just like, I know it seems like you have a lot of time to do these dungeons, but if you're lollygagging, you're definitely not going to time them. Yeah. So making just a few of, even if it's just a couple like really big pulls throughout the dungeon, that can be like a huge time saver, really.
We're almost to the point where like we can start looking at those pulls that we can start pulling stuff into the bosses because they get cleaved so quick.
That's how we cleared that 4.
Yeah.
We literally pulled it into the boss.
Right.
I was like, just pull it. And you were like, all right.
MDI shit right there.
Yeah. I think the other thing that makes it good too is that it forces a challenge on you, right? And if you know it's a big pull, you're thinking more about like, okay, I know I have to use my utility, right? Or I need to be thinking about everything I have available to get through this. And I think that helps train us to use all those abilities. Because you know what I mean? Like when you pull 2 mobs, are you really worried about popping a defensive? Probably not, right? No one's taking enough damage. So you're really not using it. And then when the big pulls do happen, you kind of get like sedentary and you're not focusing on using it. So I think the big pulls are great because it's teaching everybody to be like, okay, what all do I have right now? Because I need to cycle through everything to make sure we can get through this. And I think I think it's been a really huge help doing that.
Yeah, that and also like priority damage on what we need to be focusing, because sometimes it's just like whatever's the biggest mob is what we're going to kill, but that's not always the biggest threat. Like with some of these casters that are putting like very bad things on us, and with cleansed toxins, I can only like deal with so much. So I know that's a little bit more of a stressor on like you, Golden.
It's all good. I think you can tell too when we're all like doing it, because you'll see the health pool of that mob just start dropping when we're all actually like on it. Usually, as long as everyone's got something on cooldown, right, to help burn through. But you can definitely tell when we're all on the right mob.
Oh yeah. And so one other thing I'm noticing is we kind of have like a specific team that is like pushing a lot of the keys, and then we have some members like Goat and Vane who are still helping us push, but not like they're not usually there on those nights when we're like getting a lot of stuff done all in a row. So I feel like we almost need to have, I know we're trying to reach our goal before the season ends, so it's like hard to find a balance between we need to have nights where we have like Goat and Vane going through probably zeros where they can really kind of figure out, because I know the thing that is slowing Goat down is movement really with your Death Knight, and a lot like staying out of mechanics that are killing you very quickly because they slap down on you so fast. And like you said last episode, little fat boy can't run so fast.
That boy can't run so fast now with stuff.
So I think it'd be nice to kind of have like almost like a training nights where we're helping these some of our members that are less experienced kind of get through that, push through that learning experience a little bit more.
And learning with different classes too, right? Like I think we talked about like maybe check out a hunter too.
Yes, I think we talked about that. We've kind of been talking about that over the last week. Is him rolling a hunter?
He rolled one on Remix.
You can do whatever you want, but it might be good too because it's going to teach you different aspects. It's going to be a different perspective than being melee.
I have one.
And the more knowledgeable you become, and then, like what Bean was saying, playing different roles kind of really opened your eyes up a bit more. So you kind of know what the tank's dealing with. You kind of know what the healer's dealing with. And in DPS, I know we all make jokes like, oh, all they do is like hit stuff. But like the reality is that we won't make it if they don't hit stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have to keep themselves alive too. Like we've already talked about that. It's so punishing. If somebody steps in something, I can't even heal you. Like you're just dead in 2 seconds. By the time I can move my mouse to your icon to give you a shield, unless you say something like, oh shit, and I look and I see you're about to take something, there's no way to catch it. No way to catch it. It's just in a blink.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, this one's just so much more punishing on close range DPS that it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe for like you and Vane too, and just in general for all of us too, is just like you guys.
Maybe Demon Hunters.
Well, I mean, like no. Well, yeah, obviously, everyone knows that. Some may pretend to not know it, but that's all right. No, I think it's good too because really, I guess the focus, since you're newer to doing Mythic Plus and things like that, and it's really challenging. It's probably best for you to more focus on like learning different classes and learning different roles. I think that will just help you get better in those challenging dungeons and things like that. So without just getting slammed, right? Because how do you learn if all that happens is slam, right? So
yeah, boy likes getting slammed. Okay,
yeah, you sure do.
A lot. Not in a good way.
I mean, how do you feel personally
$15 a month to get slammed?
That's true, I guess. All of us.
Yeah.
Just to watch me go, fuck.
Are you like wanting to learn multiple classes, or are you wanting to roll a hunter? Like, what are you like wanting right now out of the game?
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. On retail, I started as a hunter. I was enjoying it, but Death Knight's a little bit more easier in the higher ups to learn your rotations and stuff like that to keep up with everything.
I don't think I said that, man. I would never say that. I can't remember. I would never say that. I thought you would enjoy it more because I thought you liked melee classes. Everyone has preferences, right? Like I like melee. Some people like range.
This is what I'm getting
behind him. There's a range player behind him.
All right.
We're good.
I only meant like I thought you would enjoy it more because I always just took you for games that we played like you liked like let me smash stuff with a sword, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I just took a chance on that, but if you like Hunter, man, that's all that matters. Play something that you want to play. Like screw a meta. Like just play what you want to play. We're doing fine. Like we're progressing. It doesn't have to be like crazy serious, you know.
I don't know. And like I said, I enjoy playing those types of roles of being up in all the crap and doing everything that needs to get done. It's just how complex can I go before it comes more of a pain in the butt to play it.
Yeah, I actually feel like Death Knight is one of the more complex ones because of its runes and runic power, and then so much procs. I think there's actually a lot of other classes you might enjoy more, just based off of kind of specifically if you're talking about like complicatedness, I guess. Complexity, rather.
There you go. Words.
Yes, words are hard. But yeah, like Warrior, I think you would enjoy that even more. Or, Hunter. I played through a Hunter. I leveled up a Hunter Remix. Really not a difficult class, like the basics at least. Obviously, every class you can get more and more in depth, but the basics for Hunter felt really nice, easy to pull off. You could focus more on improving in other areas of the game because you kind of have your very easy to master rotation, I would say.
Yeah, and the synergy between your skills as a Beastmaster just makes sense. And it's stuff you're already doing. It's just as you kind of go up in the talent tree, it makes it better and a little bit better and a little bit better. But really, your rotation doesn't change too much. There's some priority changing, but you're still dealing with the same buttons.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off too, right? Like you're going to have more survivability as a DK. However, that requires knowing how all your survivability works. Right, so you're going to be squishier as a hunter. However, you're going to be ranged. You're going to have higher mobility, and your rotation won't. I think we were talking about this, right? Like it's not so proc heavy right? Like it's pretty much
Yeah.
guaranteed procs mostly for like how the rotation works, at least for Beastmaster, or is that for Marksman? Either way, right? Is it pretty
Beastmaster, I
much similar?
think.
Okay.
They have some
So-
procs.
So there's less. I feel like there's less of a cognitive load as far as like having to pay so much more attention on your rotation, which you do have with your DK, like what Bean was saying with runes, runic power, and then knowing your utility, when to use the utility, that keeps you alive, right?
Yeah, you have to be very proactive with the Death Knight to keep yourself alive through that kind of stuff.
Just know that if you play a hunter, you will pull shit, and we will give you shit for it. It's just going to
part
happen.
of being a hunter.
It's just part of being a hunter.
I am feel like I need to go more of a ranged or have range abilities because being right up in there this season's been pretty much whooping my ass.
Ranged, it's a lot easier to see those mechanics and be able to move. When you're up close and there's so much shit going on the ground, because you got both me and Bean's consecrations on the ground.
Yeah, it's just
We can't even see shit. I just constantly move because I figure I'm just standing in something. You know, and then having you up in there too, it's hard to see anything. If you're ranged and you're kind of spread out a little bit more, you can see that stuff, and it's a lot more apparent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, on that note, before we wrap it up, is there anything anybody's like looking forward to or wants to do or wants to try out, or just any thoughts on Dragonflight wrapping up? Just any kind of closing notes as far as the channel goes and the future of the channel.
Yeah, I'm super excited to. I think we'll hit our achievement, right? What we wanted to. We wanted to achieve the first goal was to like get Keymaster, right? Or what is it called? I always screw it up.
Keystone Hero.
Keystone. I
something.
think Keystone Hero is above Keystone Master.
It's one of those.
But I think that'll happen. But I'm really looking forward to all of us going into the new expansion together. I've been trying to avoid, other than lore, like I have been watching lore videos, but I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to know the dungeons. I don't want to see all of this stuff and know the fights before we go into them. I want it to be just fresh, right? And
I've also been avoiding all the beta and all the.
Me too.
I want to experience the season, fresh eyes, really.
yeah.
Well, the same with like
Absolutely.
the delves and stuff like that. I'm trying to avoid any of that stuff, what anybody has to say about it, because I want to see what it's like, and without any kind of expectation or idea of what it's going to be like. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to know from Goat. Goat, this will be your first time ever experiencing a WoW expansion as it comes out, right? And going into it. Is that something that, like, you know what I mean? Are you looking forward to that? Like, is that
quit.
exciting to you?
It's fine.
Like, it's fine.
No, I am looking
have
for it.
no
I
emotions.
I've been like y'all, I just haven't really looked into it because, like I said, preconceptions and expectations. I don't want to ruin them. But I mean, it's going to be exciting. It'll at least give everybody a nice, good, fresh start on that run.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's going to be on equal footing. We're all going to be there at the start of it. No
I'll
one's
be
going to
there and I'll be
be
frustrated. It'll be all right.
up at the top.
And you get to experience your first week of a WoW expansion shit show.
Oh, yeah. Excited for that.
Get ready for that
Downtime
server,
and bugs and queues.
I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to do dungeons and just work with everybody as a team. I think, like you said, it's a social thing, right? And I think it's really what makes it addicting too is the reliance on everybody, right? So everybody's teaching each other stuff. We're all learning together. We're all like nobody. I think we have general frustrations when we don't time something or we wipe, right? I had a crappy night the other night. I don't know if it was the jet lag or what, but like I just couldn't stop dying. I felt awful. But nobody, other than general frustrations, like nobody gets upset. Like nobody like
No,
gets
we don't get
pissed
mad.
at anybody. Like
No.
it's a game, and we're here to have fun. And if that's the direction you go, then why are you doing it? You know. So I'm really
Yeah.
happy with our group, and yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, every time we fail a key, we're at least getting. I know we're gonna finish the dungeon, So we're at least getting something in our vault. We're at least getting some type of improvement for the next week. So there's always progress being made. Failure is the best teacher sometimes, really.
100%.
So, did you have any closing thoughts, Donnix, at all? Any excitement or?
My big thing is like, I still don't know what I want to play next expansion.
Yeah.
Like I've got every class ready to go. I don't know what I want to play. To the point where we made that joke. I started just leveling up the shittiest specs in Remix. So I have like a level 70 survival hunter. I'm working on Affliction Warlock. That's still.
I was going to ask if you got that one up there yet.
No, it's not fun. But survival hunter is kind of fun. And I know we had that joke in our group chat, and Viper's like, survival hunter. I'm like, nope, I got dibs.
Yeah, except you're serious.
Yeah, except I'm serious. They might. I mean, their hero tree looks pretty cool. Yeah,
there's changes coming. So
oh yeah,
I think I hope there's more balance, especially towards survival hunter.
I hope that they find a way to make every spec viable. Is what I'd like to see, so that people really have the ability to play what they want and viable in a progression type situation. Not like any class can do whatever dungeon, but
right. I know what you mean.
Yeah, just not like any horrible classes, really.
Yeah.
I'm really happy doing the podcast every week. It's just nice to talk to you guys. It's nice to have a common goal. I really like doing the stream. I think I want to maybe push down to one stream a week, possibly, so I can have more time to. As War Within comes out, I haven't really felt like super motivated to make like tons of mount guides or armor guides or stuff like that with all this content, just because it's been out for so long. Even like the Dragonflight stuff's like years old, really, at this point. But with War Within, it's kind of everything's going to be new for everyone. So I feel like I'm going to have a lot more motivation to make like individual mount guides. Like, here's how you get this mount. Here's how you get this mount. Make even just guides like showcasing different armor sets. I know there's some goofy looking ones, but there's some really awesome looking ones too. So if I push down to streaming once a week and then just doing the podcast like we're doing, I'll have a little bit more time to start getting in there, getting footage, doing the research and stuff, and putting out more of those types of videos as well. And then something else we had talked about is, I know we kind of talk about our progression on the podcast each week, but I'd kind of like to make sure with season 1 of War Within that we actually record each dungeon that we push together as a group, and then put them together in videos where we can kind of even sit and watch it together and just kind of do like a commentary on it together. I know that might take a little bit more time, but if we're not doing the stream, maybe we'll have more time to do that.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even necessarily need every member every time to do the commentary, because everyone else basically is going to know what's happened. But I feel like that'd be a kind of cool kind of series that people can specifically see each dungeon and our whole entire journey from 0 to hero or whatever we end up reaching within that first season.
No, that's a cool idea. I like that.
Of us watching our replays, I mean, that'd also help us kind of understand where we need to be.
That's true
why
too.
Why this happened?
Because I know that's actually a really good way to catch some mistakes that you're making.
Yeah,
I know, Golden, you specifically have watched some of our VODs and stuff, and you've like come to me and be like, "Hey, I noticed that this was happening, and we were also messing up here and there." And so, yeah, that's a good point too. That'll also help us learn to do our classes, learn the dungeons, learn everything better together if we do these type of videos as well.
I'm just imagining being with a whiteboard in the background with circles and X's, and we move over here.
I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, right? Just kind of do like a play-by-play. It's almost like watching a replay of like a football game or something, where someone's got a marker in there.
Yeah.
Drawing the penis.
Doing a route.
This here's where you pull the whole room. GPS, you go down the center, hit the line.
Where's the defense? Where's the defense? So, yeah. If nobody else has anything, though, I think that's good. I think we'll wrap this week up. That's the podcast, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe to join the Mythic Mafia. Find us on YouTube and Twitch for our live streams, Friday or Saturday evenings. We also have TikTok, IG, and Facebook, if that's more your thing. We play on the Mirrodin realm on the Alliance side, and Illidan will be our Horde realm. I'm thinking probably the final season of War Within is when we will actually play on that. But we'll do that eventually. Join our community Discord to chat WoW. Doesn't matter if you're a noob or a seasoned vet. We're accepting of all levels and factions. And apparently we'll even grab you for a key or two if you're not too busy. Shout out to Balonzo. Thanks for carrying us through that. What was it? Azure Vault 3, I think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big DPS there. Thanks, Balonzo. Thanks for tuning in, though. See you next week. Bye.
Later.